this episode of the Cinema Goodness Podcast.
And I'm not against AI. Please don't get me wrong. I love technology. Not at all. That's not my issue. I don't like when it's being used to hurt people. And I feel like, and I've said this before on here, some of the things that it should be being used for, it isn't. And it's very clearly, as AI is, coming over the horizon, is very clearly being targeted towards people's employment.
What's going on, family? It's Kahim and JP back with another episode. How you doing today, JP?
Man, I'm good. What about yourself?
Doing great, man. Can't complain. Excited for this episode today. We're going to be reacting to the Bob Marley One Love trailer. And if you haven't heard, the actors are on strike now. And CEO Bob Iger has some pretty unsettling things to say about it. We're going to get into that. We're going to wrap things up with our film review of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, Part 1. Very excited episode, man. Can't wait to get into it. Sit back, relax, grab some popcorn. Let's get into the cinema goodness. All right, man, so we're going to kick things off with this trailer reaction of Bob Marley One Love trailer, produced by Paramount. I don't think that they ever made a movie about Bob Marley at all.
I think you're right. I think this is probably the first movie, or at least first big budget that a lot of people know about right. Bob Marley. So it's going to be interesting. He has a great life story. So I'm excited about it.
I agree, man. Let's get into it.
Well, jamming. Hope you like jamming too.
How you want to start?
From the beginning. Reggae is a people music. People coming together.
Ooh, yeah.
You know you're a superstar.
All right. Well, jamming.
I'm a superstar.
I want to jam it with you.
That's the girl, man.
We can do it anyhow. Jam until the jam is through.
There's a war going on.
We're jamming.
You can't separate the music and the message.
'Cause every day we pay the price.
And what is the message?
Sacrifice.
Peace.
Oh, life is worth much more than gold.
Bob, they try to kill you and your wife. And now you're choosing to return to Jamaica to play a peace concert? Don't you fear for your life?
So we gonna walk through the roads of creation.
Man.
My life is not important to me.
Are you satisfied
My life is for people.
with the life you're living?
Do you really think this world will make it?
Yes. There's no other way.
Exodus,
That's the source of your strength.
we know where we're from. We're leaving Babylon. We're going to a fatherland. We know where we're going. We know where we're from. Open your eyes and look within. Now, 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 now. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with the life you're living?
One love, one heart, one destiny.
It looks like it's going to be good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The thing I like about Bob Marley's story, like, he caused a revolution with his voice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and he was all about peace and love and like, you know, living life to be happy and, you know, stress free. We can all relate to that, man. I know how I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna go in there ready. Yeah, man. What you think about it? You think it's gonna be good, man?
I think it's going to be great. Just the soundtrack alone is going to be great, but his story and how he impacted the world, I think is really just it's powerful. And I love the point you make. He used the power of his voice.
Yeah. This guy.
You about to say exactly what I was about to say. Go ahead.
He's talented, man. He cold-blooded. He was in Secret Invasion, right? He's a villain in Secret Invasion. But he also played Malcolm X in One Night in Miami by Kent Powers. If y'all remember One Night in Miami, it was Bob Marley, it was Muhammad Ali, Joe Jackson, I think Sam Cooke, and they was all spending a day in Miami, and it was a real good movie, man. Y'all should check that out. We might need to talk about that one too. But the guy, I forget his name. I'm trying to find it.
Kingsley Ben-Adir.
There we go. Kingsley Ben-Adir. Yeah, man, he's very talented, bro. So yeah, keep an eye out for him. I feel like he's coming up, bro.
Yeah, and I had just made the connection. Watching this, I was like, now wait a minute, that's the same guy. And he's so straight-laced in like his look in Secret Invasion. So
yeah, this
is a huge departure. So I mean, I think it's cool.
Yeah, they got your girl in there, Lashana Lynch.
I see her.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to be looking out for that one. I don't think they have a release date yet, but it's coming out in 2024.
Yeah, next year. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
All right, it's time for our movie cinema news of the week. And it's definitely been eventful last few days as it pertains to what's going on in Hollywood. So
we didn't think we had nothing to talk about. We didn't think we was gonna have anything newsworthy to talk about, and it dropped right on.
It dropped right on us. So we had previously talked about the Writers Guild of America, WGA, going on strike, and they've been on strike going on about 2 months now. And I think we kind of predicted this, that if it continued to go on and there was no positive traction in their negotiations, that the actors could join in. In the meantime, the Directors Guild did come to an agreement. So they were able to come to an agreement on their contract. But SAG-AFTRA, that's the Actors Guild, the Actors Union, their negotiations broke down and they have officially gone on strike. So, as movie and cinema lovers, what does that mean? It means that there's going to be a direct impact. We know that any show that was currently being written was already impacted because of the writers, but when it comes to the actors, then that's a step further. So anything that they weren't already working on, they didn't already have under contract, they cannot start any new business. Okay, and to be more specific, because it's actually something that, as lay people, as regular people, as I was reading into this, and I watched a couple of interviews about it over the last few days, it's a little bit more complicated than we kind of understand. So the SAG-AFTRA, and this is per the Hollywood Reporter, the SAG-AFTRA strike will shut down dozens, perhaps hundreds of productions as the Actors Union fights for better contracts covering scripted TV series and movies. The union strike rules also bar members from doing publicity, stunt work, and voice acting for the truck companies. Now, that's an important point, the truck companies. We are talking about the same folks that the writers have struck against. That is the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, okay? So AMPTP, if you see that acronym, AMPTP, Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, okay? One kind of odd thing is this does not cover soap opera work. So that type of work is not included because that's on a different contract. So if they're on soap operas, according to what I've read, many of the soap operas are already on their summer hiatus anyway, but those that are coming back in the fall to production, they actually can continue if they want to because that's under a different SAG-AFTRA contract with the AMPTP, okay? Now, that means podcasts are not affected. So the actors can do podcasts, right? And that's a good thing. So they can do podcasts. And I think that we'll probably see a lot more of that, or we'll see some that maybe hadn't done it, venture into that, to lean into it. And hopefully some of the podcast revenue will increase. So if you follow podcasters who've been talking about this, since we're no longer in the pandemic, many of the opportunities for monetizing, some of those have gone down because, you know, we outside. And there's been opportunities for those folks to make money in other areas. So I'm hoping that if this does go on and there's maybe a shift back, hopefully a little bit, and it allows some more investment from advertisers, brand deals and stuff like that to come back into the podcasting space, since that's something that actors will be able to do. So the strike against TV, streaming, and theatrical work does not keep actors from doing other jobs covered by separate SAG-AFTRA agreements. That includes some shows that form key parts of broadcast networks' fall schedules. And here's a look at some of the things that they can do. All right, so daytime dramas, game shows, variety shows, and other unscripted series. Remember, unscripted, talked about that before, so reality TV is okay. The SAG-AFTRA members would be able to participate in things like ABC's Dancing with the Stars and Celebrity Jeopardy, and Fox's The Masked Singer during the fall. Whether they actually will, of course, is up to them. Some network soap operas remain in production, as mentioned. And as it pertains to commercials, work on TV, radio, and digital commercials is covered under a different SAG-AFTRA contract than the expired one the Guild has with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, okay? So long story short, they can't, they cannot promote any movies that they've done. They can't start any new movies. This is shutting down existing movie sets and productions and things like that. And then there are some little caveats in areas where they can continue to work. But here's the big thing. The thing about the union is it allows the workers to band together and then be able to have some power against the more powerful, Alliance of Motion Picture and Television folk, okay? And the benefit there is if they stick together, then some of their demands are going to be taken into consideration. This AI thing is coming back. I don't know if y'all have seen the clip. One of the big parts about this, and this is, we talked about this thing with AI taking jobs, and it's pretty ironic. Our movie review today, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, is about AI, if you didn't know. So one of the big sticking points is essentially, and this part is actually not new, it's the addition of AI that makes it more dangerous. So even in the pre-existing contracts from the folks that I've looked at their interviews and they talked about this, when you sign these contracts, just like with if you follow college sports right now, there's a big thing about NIL, which is name, image, and likeness. So if you're part of the union and you sign a contract with these productions, you are actually signing over your name, your image, your likeness, everything that you recorded and put it on camera, and it's in perpetuity. You're giving it to them.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, man, because that's very important. Like, people don't really pay attention to that fine detail. In perpetuity, that means even after you've done a job, they can use your name, your likeness, all of that stuff for either projects that you're not even knowledgeable about, you won't get paid for, and all of this stuff, bro. So I'm glad actors and writers are on top of this, because like you said, the directors really don't have to worry about that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You go in there, you got your stuff down, you tell people how to shoot, you keep the story in line, but most of that has already been done on the back end by your writers, the people who do the storyboards, the people who plan it, the actors who went into preparation months and months at a time trying to get these lines together, bro. So, of course, it's not to say that the director don't have a poor job, because he do. Like, you got to keep the story in line, and you don't understand how difficult that can be sometimes, keeping the story in line. But with the actors and the writers, like, I want them to get they just due, bro, because I feel like AI is gonna come in with the heavy hand, man, and they're gonna try to AI everything, you know, like
exactly. And see, the point is, the in perpetuity part, that part was in the previous contracts, but here's the new caveat. They're wanting to, for all of the background actors, so if you aren't top of the bill, you're a background actor, they want to be able to take a picture, scan your body, get your image, pay you for that one day,
put you in the background.
Exactly. And then they only have to pay you for that one day. So the way it worked before, when you were signing over your name, image, and likeness in perpetuity, you were going to be getting royalties. It may be very small. If you hear some of these actors talk about it, they're getting checks, some of them for 17 cents for something they did 20 years ago, okay? Because of royalties that keep coming. But the dangerous part of it is, with bringing in AI, that means if I need 1,000 extras for my war scene, I can bring those people in, scan every single person, send them home, pay them for whatever, maybe one day, 1 week of work, and then I can continue to use their images. I can put them in the background, I can put them in my war scenes, and I do not have to pay them again.
Y'all disrespectful, bro. Disrespectful.
I mean, they essentially want something for nothing. They want to get those people's images and then be able to use them in perpetuity and digitally never have to pay you again. That is foul. I mean, I would never agree to it, and I'm glad they're putting their foot in the ground on it.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Now, here's where the crazy thing is.
Okay.
Those of you that follow Disney, Bob Chapek had taken over Disney, and Disney has had they haven't been able to recreate the success that they were having under Bob Iger since the final phase of that ended with Endgame.
Yeah.
So they fired Bob Chapek about 2 years ago, brought Bob Iger back. And he's got the audacity to be making negative comments now that the actors are on strike. I'm going to read you his words, so y'all can't say we put words in his mouth.
Right.
So I'm gonna read his words. He was talking to CNBC. He says, and I quote, "I understand any labor organization's desire to work on behalf of its members to get the most compensation and be compensated fairly based on the value that they deliver. we managed as an industry to negotiate a very good deal with the Directors Guild that reflects the value that the directors contribute to this great business. We wanted to do the same with the writers, and we'd like to do the same with the actors. There's a level of expectation that they have that is just not realistic. And they are adding to the set of challenges that this business is already facing that is, quite frankly, very disruptive. Now, context. In 2 years, this man has made over $50 million in his salary over Disney. And he's telling actors that barely make enough money, because here's the thing, the people that are most affected by this are the people that really don't make a lot of money. And as movie watchers, if you're listening to this or watching us, we all have to come to this realization. It's just like we go to a beautiful restaurant, and I don't care how fancy it is, the people working in that restaurant do not make a lot of money.
Right.
The movies are no different. I don't care how much money, I don't care how many billion-dollar movies come out. The big actors, those people that the headliners that make all these millions, those are the exception. If you look at those credit rolls at the end and you see literally thousands of names, those people are making pennies.
Yeah, they're making what we were making like a 9-to-5 job. $17
Exactly.
an hour, $18,
Exactly.
$20 an hour. You know what I'm saying? And people, it's so funny because, they was interviewing Michael B. Jordan a while back for Creed 3, and he was talking about when he was on The Wire, he still was considered to be broke. And everybody was like, I don't understand that. Wire was one of the biggest HBO series back in the time, but that don't mean, just because somebody's on TV, that don't mean they're necessarily making a whole bunch of money and living this lavish lifestyle. It's just a job. You know what I'm saying?
It's a job.
It just happens that you see these people on your TV screen, so
Exactly.
you think that it's all what it is. So
they're all millionaires. They're all living the life of royalty. No, that's not realistic.
When you go to California, you see a whole bunch of people. They say they got one of the biggest homeless rates, the hugest homeless rates in America. You know what I'm saying? Cost of living, you think you gotta live in LA. Cost of living is high. If you don't live in LA, you gotta travel to LA, plane tickets, driving, gas, like all of that stuff counts. And man, these actors, these writers, bro, they need to be paid what they're worth, because these companies making billions of dollars off like, what movie was that just made $300 billion or some 300 million? So crazy. Was that Transformers?
Probably.
Transformers, bro. That made like 300 something million dollars. Like, well,
they have done good.
Yeah.
They have done good.
I'm just saying, man, like, it's not all rainbows out here, bro. People still living day to day. Most of us are. You know what I'm saying? So.
Exactly. And so, of course, the person who's making $25+ million a year, who's telling people who can barely afford lunch while they're at work, that pissed everybody off. So Mr. Iger is not helping nothing at all. He's making it worse, because if you think that they are being unrealistic, maybe you should devote a percentage of your salary to them. We'll see how long before you do that. I don't think they should hold their breath.
Dude make $27 million a year.
And I don't care how smart you are. I don't care what you're doing. You're making $27 million is not because of hard work. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
You're making $27 million because of the title that you have and the experience that you have. And I say that because a lot of times people conflate, if you just work hard, that's not true. The people that make the least money in this world work the hardest. Yeah. They work backbreaking jobs. So, we have to be realistic. And this is not political at all. This is just reality. The people that are making these kinds of salaries They have no business being upset with people that are hardly making paycheck to paycheck. Some of them may be homeless. And how many actors, it's very common for actors, some of the A-list actors, when they tell their story, they have a period of homelessness in their story. Right. And it's so common. Tyler Perry's a billionaire. He was homeless.
Yeah. As
an actor, trying to make it. And he is not unique.
Yeah. Steve Harvey, one of the biggest comedians in the world, was homeless.
Homeless. Trying to make it in entertainment.
Yeah. It's very rough, man. So if you do get in there, I think you should be properly compensated, especially if you're writing these stories and putting yourself on the screen and dedicating your time to the craft, bro. You need
exactly,
points, bro.
I wish my job would say, we're going to scan your face and your voice, and this is going to be your last paycheck. We're just going to have a computer do your job from now.
Show me the money.
Jerry? Yeah, what can I do for you?
Show me the money.
Right? Yeah, that will never fly. That will never be okay. And that's essentially one of the main sticking points for this whole fight. And I'm not against AI. Please don't get me wrong. I love technology. Not at all. That's not my issue. I don't like when it's being used to hurt people. And I feel like, and I've said this before on here, some of the things that it should be being used for, it isn't. And it's very clearly, as AI is, coming over the horizon, is very clearly being targeted towards people's employment. So, and y'all Romaniac people, hey, have you heard about that, Kahim?
No, what is that?
The Romaniac, where you do the AI photos.
Yeah.
They have a very similar part in their agreement that says they own your images in perpetuity. Those people can take your images and they can put them in an ad for HIV medication if they want to. It doesn't matter. They make money, you have no control. So we got to be careful about that kind of stuff, about our images now.
Yeah, got to be more careful, man. Yeah, and if you want an example of AI trying to destroy the world, look no further than Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, bro.
Absolutely.
Because that movie, it put AI in a totally different perspective. Like, you always hear about AI ruining the world, trying to control the world, or it evolves into this thing that can, destroy the world, basically. Mission Impossible, man, they did a really good job of painting that picture, man. So,
absolutely.
You want to go ahead and move on to talk about Mission Impossible, man?
Right. Perfect segue. So Ethan Hunt and the IMF team must track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all of humanity if it falls into the wrong hands. With control of the future and the fate of the world at stake, a deadly race around the globe begins. Confronted by a mysterious, all-powerful enemy, Ethan is forced to consider that nothing can matter more than the mission, not even the lives of those he cares about most.
Let me just say, Tom Cruise, bro, how old is this man?
He is 61, I believe, and he's still going strong.
Bro, that Tom Cruise is an action god, bro. I'm not even playing.
You must give him credit. You must give him credit.
Got to, man. The guy is cold-blooded, bro. He's still 61. He's still going hard, bro. So kudos to you, sir.
Absolutely.
Everything you do for film, because, man, you got it. You got it.
There was a funny article about the fact that they did the one of the big stunts in the movie was the motorcycle parachuting stunt.
Yeah.
And they did that first.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure
they did
had
that
to get
first.
Wait. They're like, just in case he get hurt, you know what I'm saying? We can't be in the middle and shoot this movie and he get hurt because we done. Let's just get this part out the way. And if he be all right for this part, we can finish the rest of the movie.
Right.
But yeah, man, I love Mission Impossible movies, man. I just think they just throw you a bit, you know? And they attack this AI thing, which is so fresh, but they put their spin on it a little bit, where this AI computer is kind of like manipulating the situation to find this, to keep people from, you know, basically destroying it. You know what I'm saying? It's protecting itself. That's kind of like what it's doing, is protecting itself. And what do you think about the movie?
I thought it was great, and it came at the right time. It's almost prescient that it's happening right now, that AI is on the news every day. So it's interesting that it came now, where AI is starting to become an ever-present thing and impacting our lives. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I hadn't even thought about it like this, but as much as AI feels new, we have been using AI for years in our Google on our phone. Hey, Google, okay, Google, and all that good stuff. Siri.
Yeah.
We don't think about that, but that is AI. And if you think about, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the fact that you can search on your phone, and even to people have been saying this to the point where I may start believing it. I don't know if it's true, but we already know if the phone can register, or the Echo Dot, or the Nest Hub Max, if it can register when you say those words, it has to be constantly listening. That's the only way it can work. So you're seeing people say, you know what? I remember talking about this. My phone was in my pocket. I did not search it on my phone. And within hours, I'm getting an ad on my phone for that thing.
That's so crazy.
Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
It cannot be a coincidence that is happening. That is AI, but it's benign because, I mean, it feels intrusive when you think about it. But at the same time, it's not hurting us. And for the most part, if I get a coupon for something that I would actually buy, hey, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you're right.
Exactly. But when, these, people who have a lot of power realize, okay, this thing is powerful and I can utilize it to take control of things. That's what the movie is about.
Yeah.
And as much as it is about the AI trying to protect itself, the movie is actually about the world powers trying to gain control of the AI because of how powerful it is. Because the AI, just to prove that it had the ability to do so, it purposefully breached all of the most secure systems, everything in the intelligence community, the World Bank, and it made a point to make sure that people would know it had been there, just to let them know, I breached all of your security and I can access anything. So the crux of the movie, one of the big things in the movie is that one of the signs, one of the characteristics of this particular AI is that it likes to control what is considered to be true.
Right.
So it can go in and corrupt data in such a way that you would not know that it had changed the data.
Yeah.
So all of these worldwide intelligence communities were gone, in the Furious, this part of the movie, to try to put everything into a non-digital form so that they would know if the AI went in and changed something, that they could prove it and then correct it, as a way to fight back. But we know, because of just what has happened in our world politically, that folks use the fact that folks don't read, they only read the headline maybe, then their biases play into it. It's so easy to manipulate people.
Yeah.
I mean, that part of this movie is actually kind of scary.
It is, man. Got people thinking like, so, like Ethan's character is kind of like the only person that could kind of see what's really going on. Everybody, like you said, they trying to control it. They trying to manipulate it. They trying
make money off of it.
And make money off of it, trying to find a source and where all of this came from, where it happened, so we could try to fix it and control it. And Ethan like, nah, bro, this is something that the human race, we can't control, bro. This time we gotta kill it. So,
right. Let me tell you what I was thinking. The gift, kill it with fire. That is Ethan. Ethan Hawke is like, kill it with fire, like they were trying to do. They're trying to kill the Upside Down in Stranger Things, burn it down, tear it down. He realized he has sense.
Yeah,
these other people are being dumb, playing right into the hands. They call it the entity in the movie.
Right, entity, man.
Because it is self-aware now. It's not just an AI anymore. It is self-aware.
It's self-aware, man. Now I'm kind of nervous about that. Like, everything's cool now. It's on the computer. Like, we could kind of, fix this part. Like, it's kind of local, so it can't go out and grab information unless you tell it to. But I feel like one of these good old days, something just gonna seep out of that firewall or whatever, and it's gonna be a wrap. Like, I'm gonna be seeing stuff on other people's computer without even know. I feel like it's gonna be crazy, man. But Ethan is looking for this key. Like, it's 2 keys that's supposed to unlock something. People don't know what it is. They just know that they gotta find this key. But the key actually unlocks the source for the entity, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have this key, you can get to the source, and once you get to the source, you can either destroy it or control how it's grabbing information. And everybody just on the search for this key. That's kind of what this, because I guess this is part 1. So once it resolves in the end, he has the key. It picks up because the villain is still out there, played by Esau Morales. But his name is Gabriel in the movie.
Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel. He was in the other Mission Impossible. I think he was responsible for killing his wife.
Correct. They were showing flashbacks of that in this movie, because that's essentially how Ethan got into the IMF.
Right.
Remember, like, they were accusing him of killing her because he couldn't prove that Gabriel had done it. So you get this choice, because the Grace character in this movie also was at a crossroads. She'd done a lot of bad stuff, but she has a set of skills that can help the IMF. And so Ethan told her, when you meet Kittredge, which is the U.S. government, I believe he's the head of the Department of Defense, Secretary of the Department of Defense. He told her when you meet him that you were going to accept, the offer, that choice essentially, because she knew that she had essentially gotten caught up, and all of her background was going to come back and potentially put her in prison. So that's how Ethan got into the IMF in the first place, and that's how she's getting in.
This girl, Grace, she gave me a headache the whole movie, bro, because she's basically running for her life, and Ethan is chasing behind her the whole movie. I'm just like, no. But she kept finding her way to that key, though. So, I mean, she was really useful in the end. She was really useful.
She's a good pickpocket, and then I learned a new term. She's a put pocket.
Yeah, put pockets. You can put stuff back.
Exactly, without you even knowing it.
That is a skill, bro. That's a real good skill. She was giving me the blues, man. But I was excited about her character because I feel like she's a new part of the group. I guess they took out the older one.
Oh man,
Ilsa, man. Yeah, it took her out.
Unfortunately, Ilsa was killed.
Yeah, man.
And I'll save it for my predictions.
Oh, you got predictions? I'm excited to hear that. Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me hear them. Let's hear them.
Well, okay. We're going to talk about the action of the movie, but I have a sneaking suspicion. Simon Pegg's character, he's and I forget his name in the movie. His character and Ving Rhames' character. I don't know if they're going to make it out of the movie series.
So Simon Pegg is Benji.
Benji.
And Ving Rhames is Luther.
Luther. Okay. Benji and Luther. Because even the synopsis hints at it, that this is so important that he's going to have to even put the lives of the people he loves the most. That's one of the poignant scenes in the movie. And essentially they tell him, this thing is so powerful, you're going to have to understand that destroying it is going to be more important than trying to save the lives of your friends.
Yeah.
But he's already lost one. And Luther's character, he was able to get a hard drive that the entity had connected to. And if you, in this movie, he said, okay, I have to go off the grid. Right, and I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to go and hide somewhere where the entity cannot find me, because he's tasked with trying to figure out, once they do get to the source code, how do they destroy it?
Right.
And I'm scared for Ving's character, because the entity was clever. It patched into their communications. It was able to mimic their voices, and it was talking in Benji and Luther's voice, and directed him into a trap.
Yeah.
So, and then I was scared because in one of the scenes, Benji, because he needed to get on the computer to direct Ethan where his point needed to be so he could jump to get to the train, he let the self-driving software on the car drive, and he got in the passenger seat, and I was like, oh my God, what if the entity takes control of this car and crashes him?
That's why he was like, he put the seatbelt on real tight.
Exactly. I mean, I'm worried for the team, man.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this is a trilogy. Is it a trilogy or just two?
I'm not sure. It just said part one, so I don't even know what's coming next.
Let me see.
So yeah, I mean, they in search for this key, man, but the action, bro, like what you said, you want to talk about the action while you looking up the parts. My favorite scene was when they was driving together. They was like handcuffed to each other, and like Ethan was driving, and then they got out the car. They was like, "I'm gonna go find the car," and they got this little Beetle, and they was driving through there, man. That had to be a lot of coordination with that, man, and like for all of the scenes that they was like the action scenes. I felt like this one was a lot more confined, and they rode past. I feel like they rode past the place where they shot John Wick too, the circle. Like they do the circle. I think that's like
in Rome.
Yeah, I think that's a common thing that they use. I was like, when they passed it was in the daylight though. I'm not slick. I see y'all. Got a little John Wick in there. It was very well coordinated. I'm just trying to figure out how much of these stunts Tom Cruise doing, man? And I'm just like, I was trying to see if I could see the stunt double, you know what I mean? So I could pick him out. But
if you can see the stunt double, that means they didn't do a good job.
I'm trying to find him. So I'm like, man, this dude is 60, bro. Why he doing all of this, bro? And when he runs, like he was out, bro. He was bolting. I'm like, bro, he run faster than a lot of 30, 40-year-olds. Man, that was impressive, man.
He's doing the daggone thing in this movie. It's just the stamina.
Yeah, right. A lot of that, man. But yeah, that's what Mission Impossible is good for, man. Like them close action scenes, man. The fight scenes, the big extravagant like jumps and like the motorcycle rides, all of that stuff, bro. And they keep it going, man. They keep the train going, and it's pretty good, bro.
And you know what's cool? Although they do draw some inspiration from action lore just in general, one of the great things is they keep you guessing. You don't know how they're going to get out of each different thing. And I know my brain, when I'm watching a movie, I can't control it. My brain is always trying to figure out how are they going to get out of this situation. And that's also one of my barometers of a good movie. If I figured out the movie by the time we get there and I'm right, it's a little bit of a letdown for me. So I love that they keep you guessing and they present something that looks like an impossible mission, and then they pull it off. So that part is cool. Action was awesome. I definitely see some things in the action that I have seen before, but it wasn't boring to me. To me, it was almost like an homage to action, to the Mission Impossible franchise. And there's one more coming after this one, but of course it's being delayed. It was in production, but it's being delayed by the strike now. Because I know there was some posts online, and that started making me think about this. You brought up the driving circle scene in Rome. And that was something that we saw. It was a nighttime scene though in John Wick 4. The train scene is one that we've seen that before. Right. But it didn't reduce the stakes because we've seen that in Indiana Jones. We've seen that in Jurassic Park. We've seen that in many movies where, you have this train or this thing dangling down and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get out, and you got heavy stuff that's about to fall and hit you, but I was still on the edge of my seat. So I enjoyed it. And I think if you haven't seen it, well, first of all, if you haven't seen it, we've spoiled a good portion of it. But I think it's still worth watching because it's going to keep you right in there, and it's very enjoyable watch. Yeah. I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, man. Me too. I think they did a good job of kind of like landing the plane, but keeping it ready to take off. Analogy, I guess, because they solved the problem in this first part. The part was to get both sets of the keys, right? They got that. Now they have to figure out. Well, Ethan kind of got a hint about where the key goes to because of old girl home.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, she ended up telling him it goes to the submarine, basically. So he's like,
So that's the ball.
Yeah, right. So they got the key. They know where it goes. Now they got to figure out, Ving Rhames' character, Luther, he has to do his part still to help them kind of kill the AI, man. And I'm excited, bro. Like, I think they're going to do a real good job tying this up. Hopefully, this is the last one. But as you know, once they see a franchise, bro, it's kind of hard to break away. I think he can make money on this for a long time, but hopefully, story-wise, if they don't have a good story, I think they could leave it with this, and it'll still be like a solid franchise as a whole, man.
Yeah, well, Tom Cruise has been quoted in saying that he'll be willing to continue making Mission Impossible movies until he's Harrison Ford's age. Harrison Ford is the big age of 81.
Yeah, he 81. I just saw that.
And his last movie was a flop, the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I wasn't even interested in seeing it because I'm over here talking about this is elder abuse. Y'all need to let that man go to rest.
Hey, bro, not elder abuse. Well, no, that's movie magic, man. That's movie magic, bro. You 81. You still got, the camera giving you life, bro. It's like,
yeah,
it's amazing. And I think he could. I think Tom Cruise could really do this until he's 81, bro.
If he keeps himself up, he definitely could. Those running scenes in this movie where it was a single shot and you literally watch him run from long distances and they are not panning away, there are no cuts. That is Tom Cruise or somebody that looks a lot like him running their behind off.
I was like, is that a stunt double right there? I was like, man, and then I think they probably do something called the speed ramp where you kind of speed up the scene a little bit, like have him run, but you speed up the scene a little bit to make it give it a little bit more energy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, in a way that we can't tell.
You can't tell because you don't want
with
to
the naked eye
too fast, but you can speed it up a little bit or slow it down, and it won't suspend your disbelief. You know what I mean? It won't mess you up. So yeah, I was wondering if that's like an editing trick they're using, like the speed ramps and all of that stuff. But either way, man, it looked great on camera, bro.
It did.
He looked like a machine. He looked like a machine.
I'm wondering if in the second movie, because in this movie, the entity is using people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if at any point during this movie, the entity will try to put itself in a body of some sort.
I was thinking like Ultron, bro. Like try to do that. Yeah. Put his consciousness in something else that could actually move around and be mobile. If that happens, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem, bro.
Because even if he puts his consciousness into something physical, that means he doesn't have to rely on the people like Gabriel, because they essentially, Gabriel was racking up wins this whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Everything he said was going to happen happened until the very end of the movie, and he got a big L because he thought for sure he still had the cruciform key in his pocket.
He had that. He had
that
moment.
That was an awesome moment because he knew he had that key.
Yeah,
it was gone.
We just talked about that at The Fifth Element.
Exactly.
They did it. They did it, bro.
Gary Oldman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was in the theater laughing so hard, bro, because they do that, y'all, and it's so satisfying because they be on par the whole movie. You just want them to get theirs, bro. And when they finally get it, it's in that way. They think they got it. They think they won. They think they got the trophy. But when they open up the case, there's nothing there. Tap your pocket, ain't no keeping there but lint. You know what I'm saying?
And his exit off of the train was so smooth. I mean, his watch beeped and he just falls back. There's a truck there with a mattress in the back. He's absolutely okay. The train goes speeding down.
Yeah.
He thought he got gotten away.
Yeah. It was great, man. What would you give this movie?
What would I give the movie? I mean, I thought it was a good watch. I'm going to say this one's probably a 9 for me. And let me tell you why it's so high. I don't think another movie hit on stuff that's happening in real life for me. The more I think about it, there's so many things in this movie that we may not have the entity, but most definitely some of the stuff that they put in this movie is happening in real life. Like Gabriel being so much in belief that it's almost like he's a cult leader.
Right.
You can see that happening right now in our world, where people just become so obsessed with something that they will do crazy stuff. So man, it's a 9 for me. I really enjoyed it, and I love that it's right on time. It's bringing stuff that's real to us, and really is making me think about some stuff.
Right. Yeah, man, I had it at an 8.59. So yeah, man, I can't wait to the part 2, man, so I can see how it concludes, man. But yeah, they did a really good job. That scene, I was waiting for that jump part 2. I was waiting for it. I'm like, man, when is it coming? Because I felt like it's gonna be towards the end of the movie. And when they did it, it was even leading up to that, where they was trying to figure out where to go. And once he got to the cliff, you know, he was talking to Benji. He was like, "Where am I supposed to go?" He was like, "Yeah, you're in the right, plot, you're in the right place." He was like, "I don't get it." He was like, "You're gonna have to jump," you know. And it was a great scene, bro. I need to watch the behind the scenes to see how they actually got that going, man. But
how they did some of the stunts.
Yeah, it was really impressive.
Oh yeah, and they got the budget for it, so hey.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna do like the Flash. They're gonna make their money back.
Ooh, 291 million for the budget.
Is that the budget? Okay.
Yeah, 291 million.
What did they do over the weekend?
Box office, 239.4 million.
In one weekend. They're already on the way.
That's crazy. Yeah. They almost there. Wow. Good job, guys. Very excited. Can't wait for part 2.
Do you have any predictions about part 2?
No, I feel like somebody's going to die. I just don't know who yet. I'm going to have to think about it. I feel like somebody important going to die. You know, I mean, I feel like somebody important already died, but I feel like another person going to die. It might be Gabriel. Thinking Gabriel, they're gonna kill Gabriel, and maybe Benji. I think Luther's gonna, because he's much more on the outskirts. You know what I'm saying? He's in like where kind of like the watchtower type of person. So I don't know. It could be Benji and Gabriel.
Okay.
Go.
You know, it would be fitting if Gabriel, you know, met his end because of, you know, what he did to Ethan in the very beginning. Because even the sight of Gabriel had Ethan shook.
Yeah, he was ready.
He thought he was seeing ghosts when he first saw him, because he was like, I know I didn't see what I just saw. He was like, no, that didn't happen.
His intense was up, bro. Yeah, man.
Yeah. But let me tell you, here's why I'm worried about Luther's character.
Okay.
Because of what he's being tasked to do, if the entity senses what he's trying to do, if there's any situation that exposes his location and what he's trying to do, it's going to be bad news for Luther. Yeah. And I hate that because I'm a big fan of Ving Rhames. I know that Benji is, you know, helping Ethan, but if Luther completes his task, he's the one creating the dagger that's going to kill the AI.
Yeah.
Because at this point, they don't even know for sure where it is. And even if they did know where it is, they don't even know how to kill it.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid that if there's some, you know, security failure or something, and the entity finds out where Luther is, you know, it's going to be bad news. So I'm hoping that he survives, but I'm afraid for him.
He is a big threat.
Yeah. Because the key, we already know, the key is only helpful if you know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And at this point, the key is useless to them because they don't know where the source code is and they don't know how to kill it.
Right.
So there's a lot of meat on the bone for the second movie. So I applaud also how they put together the two. and the way you described it is perfect. They landed the plane, and it almost doesn't feel like a cliffhanger.
Right.
Because they didn't leave us hanging in the air. They actually brought the story almost to a close, with the only caveat being, now we got to figure out what the next part is.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Worms, dog.
What'd you say?
I said that's a whole nother can of worms.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. All right. Anticipating the next one, part 2. Anything else?
No. So we had good views on the last episode, so we want y'all to keep viewing, keep sharing. Hopefully y'all are enjoying. We have a good slate of movies coming out in the end of July and going into August. So I think we have some really good episodes coming up. Y'all stay tuned.
Yeah. If you got,
by the way, we ain't on strike, okay? We haven't been paid nothing yet, so we are not on strike. We will every week.
Right. Talking about something.
Right?
Talking about something. Yeah. Yeah, man. I hope y'all have a great day, night, whenever you watch this. Let us know what you think about the episode. Make sure you check us out on the various podcast platforms. And until next time, you have a light that is out of this world. Let it shine to be the richness that this world deserves. Much love, family. Being rich.
Peace.